Hello guys, it's NeverSink and today I want to talk about the build I've been playing in the past week over the course of the Ritual and Echoes League start, the MJOLNER Crit Inquistior, and it has been a blast. I've managed to clear a lot of different content times with that, 80% Delirious, tier 16 maps, Maven, Awakener 8, Shaper, Uber Elder, basically anything, and it's been a very enjoyable ride. The build overall is very rounded, featuring insane clear speed and quite good clear in general in terms of AoE. It's tanky, it has quite a bit of utility, and it also features decent single target damage. So it does take a bit of investment to reach that part. Alright. Honestly, the biggest compliment I can give this build myself is that I feel like making a video for it. I really dislike video making, but I feel like the build has been performing really spectacular and it's really fun to play. So yeah, here we are. Into the build overview. Lately I've been streaming pretty much daily, so if you have any questions or want to see the build live, just join my stream and you can ask the questions there. Before we start, let me just mention that you can absolutely start with this build. You level it as any other caster. I'll provide a leveling and a budget tree in the description of this video. And to start off, you only need MJOLNER, you only need Astramentus, and you only need Algo Mortis. These three items together will cost you around 15 chaos at most, so you can absolutely start with this build and it will easily roll you into low red maps, and then you can keep upgrading things and buying them up. So the upgrade priority should be then slowly invest into getting Impulsas. Before that, even get a Light of Lunaris, get yourself a Roomies, get yourself a good Crit Flask, a good Serious Promise, and afterwards you can think about elite upgrades like 6-link Impulsas, Fortify Corruption on MJOLNER, a Bottled Face, but all of these things like a Watcher's Eye, Glorious Vanity, a good Circle of Regret, but all of those things are optional. You only need these three items to start off. Alright, so we are running MJOLNER as our weapon. Every time you hit with MJOLNER with a cooldown of 0.15 seconds, it triggers the Socketed Lightning Gem, which is in our case Arc, so that provides us with quite a bit of clear speed. But because you can only 3-link MJOLNER, we also run Cyclone with cast on crit and bow lighting and slower projectiles as our single target damage boost, and it works out quite well because bow lighting has quite an amazing single target. Okay, we back up the damage of MJOLNER and bow lighting by getting a lot of critical strike multiplier from Light of Lunaris. This build is block kept while using the Roomies Flask, and on top of that, that provides us with 100% crit multiplier. To receive the crit chance, we are running Inquisitor, and Inquisitor gets a lot of crit chance from Righteous Providence, so in this case it's 540% increased crit chance. And since MJOLNER is fairly socket or link staffed, we want to run Inevitable Judgment to ignore all the resistances, and this works out quite well in order to boost our damage. Now on top of that, Inquisitor has this wonderful Sanctuary pass that leads to Pious Pass. This grants us ailment immunity while we are on Consecrated Ground, and Consecrated Ground lingers for 4 seconds. This works really well because every time we dash, we are getting a new Consecrated Ground effect, so we don't have to worry about it. We have a 100% Consecrated Ground uptime since we also apply Consecrated Ground with Zealotry. Another super important part of this build is Algo Mortis and our interaction with elemental ailments. This build scales Shock, Chill and Sap a lot, which increases the damage on enemies by significant amounts, also decreases the damage they do and decreases their speed. The effect is so powerful because we stack quite a bit of ailment effectiveness that you can even notice it against uber bosses like Awakener and Maven. And this effect is very significant. So we are running Algo Mortis. As long as the enemy is in a chilling area, which can be done with CVDT Code Snap or by using Vortex. Vortex is an instant spell, so we can keep rolling and using that. As long as they're in the chilling enemies, hits against them have a chance to sap them. Sap reduces their damage, and on top of that it provides a 35 increased lightning damage boost, which is a more multiplier, but it stacks additively with things like bottled phase. By the way, bottled phase is an elite update, well, upgrade. You don't need it from the start. It's just something you can get fairly late in the game. To increase the effectiveness of our ailments, Algo Mortis also provides ailment effectiveness. I also have ailment effectiveness on my boots, but you don't need to start off with that. It's also one of the late game upgrades. We are also running a cluster jewel with overshock and another overshock here. Also ailment effectiveness cluster jewel, so we get multiple sources of ailment effectiveness. This makes our shock, chill and sap, as said before, very, very significant, and you can tank a lot of things while dealing quite a bit of damage. It's also worth noting that this build comes with a lot of regeneration and recovery. The Consecrated Ground Ascendancy Pass doubles our life regen as ES regen, so it pretty much double dips. So at this point I have 680 life regen, and this applies to ES as well, so we are at 1.4 regen per second. To use it effectively, we also use Glorious Vanity so that we take life and ES damage at the same time, so that works wonderful. To provide us with additional recovery, we have instant war cries, and we're using Enduring Cry for endurance charges, and basically Enduring Cry heals us for around, I think it's like 2k ES and 2k life, and it's super effective. It feels really, really powerful, and endurance charges help as well. We also have Steel Skin on CVDT, you can use Immortal Core as well. Later on I recommend investing into late game upgrades like Red Nightmare to get more endurance charges while mapping. I also got myself a Watcher's Eye to have consistent flask sustain, so this one has critical strikes on precision. Well, this one recharges flasks when we critical strike with precision. By the way, we are running precision, zealotry and Herald of Thunder. It's also worth talking about the other jewels a bit. You want at least one jewel with Corrupted Blood immunity, because with all the small hits, Corrupted Blood can kill you very, very easily. Later on, as I've said, I'll attach a leveling and a budget tree. You might want to invest into a Shred of Hope in order to grab some of the juicy nodes around here. And I think those were pretty much all of our jewels. Oh yeah, of course, the cluster jewels. I highly recommend you to get Snowstorm. Snowstorm provides us with quite a bit of damage, and on top of that also guarantees that our enemies will be chilled and frozen, which take care of those annoying porcupines. This works wonderfully if you have Storm Rider, because with Storm Rider and Snowstorm we have consistent power charge generation as well. I also recommend getting Overshock at least once, and Doriani's Lesson if you can afford such a jewel in order to get some life leech, so then you have life and ES leech. These small jewels right now are just life and ES, they are nothing special, with just some stats on top of them. Also, I'm using Cow of the Thermophile on this build. You do not need to use it. I also personally probably do not recommend to use that. I think you're better off using a rare helmet with accuracy. But you can do that. But that makes capping resistances really hard, so I had to invest basically every single slot into insane gear so that I can cap some resistances. But do know that at this point I've invested probably 50x into this build, if not more. I was able to take Awakener 8 down with less than 15x investment fairly easily, and you can farm red maps with less than 1x investment absolutely easily, so that you can farm up everything you need. Alright, so I think that covers up most of the things I wanted to talk about. I still need to replace my annoyance, they are not perfect, and I'm working on improving this and the other piece of the build as well, still optimizing some aspects of it. If you have questions, feel free to post things below or to jump into the into my stream and ask them there. By the way, I've been really enjoying Echoes and Ritual League, and I hope you guys are having fun. And I'm gonna leave you with a small footage of me fighting Uber Elder. So yeah, have fun. See ya.
Father, no!
Putrefy, rot, spoil, and fester.
Exile, do something!
Gaze into the abyss. Gaze into the abyss. Gaze into the abyss. Gaze into the abyss.
I must have time to gather my will.